Welcome back to B2B Growth. This is going to be another bit of a different episode. I've been getting a ton of really positive feedback on the solo episodes that we've been doing for B2B Growth. So today is going to be exactly that, a solo episode. And it's as a result of a lunch appointment that I had today. I was meeting with someone here in Orlando, and he was able to get on my calendar pretty quickly because I had some availability this week, partially because it's the holiday, partially with us bringing on Logan to start handling more of the sales activity. And so I'm not having to do as much of that. All that to say, he asked me, he said, Manny, I really appreciate being able to get on your calendar so quick. Like how busy are you these days? And I've been asked that a few different times, and I think I have a pretty interesting take on how I feel about being busy. I did a podcast episode. The very first podcast I ever did was called Inspiring Awesome, and I did it with my best friend Kenny Ortiz. And we did an episode on this called Stop Wearing Busy as a Badge. That might actually be how I title this episode. I'm not sure yet. But this idea of measuring our success, measuring our worth based on how busy we are is broken, in my opinion, and especially as an entrepreneur whose goal for me in entrepreneurship, my kind of North Star has always been freedom and flexibility. I didn't become an entrepreneur so I can get mega wealthy, although I think that will likely happen as a result of it. But that wasn't my motivation. My motivation was, I don't have kids yet, but I want to be extremely present in the life of my family. My dad wasn't around growing up, and I want to be very present in my kids' lives. I want to have ultimate flexibility and control over my calendar. I want to be able to do the things I want to do when I want to do them. And because that is my goal with entrepreneurship, I don't measure the success of the business or my personal success on how busy I am. In fact, it's actually quite the opposite. I joke around all the time and say I'll measure the success of my life by the number of days I didn't wear socks or didn't have to wear socks, because I wear flip-flops all the time, and it's kind of a joke, but I really do measure the success of my life based on my freedom to be able to choose to not have to wear socks, or to choose to wake up till 10:30, not wake up till 10:30 if I want to be able to choose to go to my future kids' soccer game if I want to go to that, instead of being tied up on calls all afternoon. Now, obviously, if you have massive ambition to build $1 billion enterprise, you need to work your face off. I'm a huge fan of Gary Vee, and Gary Vee has massive ambition, and so he works a lot. He is constantly staying busy, and that aligns to his ultimate goal. That is not my goal, and I would argue that a lot of folks listening to this don't necessarily have ambitions to buy a major sports franchise or to achieve that kind of wealth. And if that is you, then I think it's a powerful thing to think about, to say, am I using my busyness to measure my worth or to measure my success? And so the way I think about it, and a big part of bringing Logan onto the team, was so that I could alleviate a lot of the time that I'm currently spending doing sales calls, doing B2B growth interviews, and outsourcing that, putting that on the plate of somebody else, so that I now have even more freedom. And so look at your day, look at how you're spending your day. We obviously want to hustle hard. We want to work hard if we want to achieve, financial freedom. That doesn't come independent of working really hard. But I think this idea of not wearing busy as a badge, and not bragging about how busy we are, instead bragging about how passionate we are about the work that we get to do, and doing that work in a really smart way. And I've said also, it's not a matter of work smarter, not harder. I think in a lot of cases you have to do both. You have to work smart and you have to work hard. But I don't necessarily think that means that you have to be busy all the time. And so, one benefit of not being busy, of having, some flexibility with my calendar, is I get to do last minute lunches with this guy Andrew that I got to meet with today. I got to develop a really cool relationship with him today, deepen our friendship. He was a kind of an acquaintance, and he's turning into a friend. Could we have met up 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now? Sure, we could have, but I had a really great lunch with him today, and I got joy out of that today because I've got flexibility in my schedule, and I'm not constantly trying to make myself busy 100% of the time. I give myself that freedom and flexibility. This advice obviously isn't for everybody. If you want to build, a $1 billion company, you're likely going to have to pretty much be busy all the time. But I want to have a comfortable lifestyle. I want to be able to give generously to the things that I care about, and I want to be really, really present with my friends and family. And so because of that, I'm optimizing my life for freedom and flexibility inside of entrepreneurship. That's my game. That's my end game. And so I try not to be busy. So when people ask me that, like, hey man, are you staying busy? My response is often, well, I'm trying not to, because my goal is freedom and flexibility. So just a little bit different take on busyness, and so wanted to share that with you. I hope it is valuable for you. Would love to engage with you. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, find me, James Carbary, Carbary. I would love to stay connected with you on LinkedIn. I'm trying to put out more and more content on LinkedIn, particularly with Logan coming on board, giving me more time to create more thoughtful content there. Connect with me on Instagram, Twitter. Shoot me an email, james@sweetfishmedia.com. I love hearing from folks that are getting value out of the show. It brings me a great deal of joy to hear from you. So thank you so much for tuning in to this little mini solo episode today. Hope you have a fantastic 4th of July today. If you are in the States, you're celebrating 4th of July. On the day that you're listening to this, when it goes live on Wednesday, July 4th. Have a fantastic holiday, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks a lot.